Yeah, what a beautiful morning in Rust. And here's my beautiful base. Come inside. Let me give you a tour. No, no, I didn't get raided. I just don't have any doors. I don't need them, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So yeah, let's do the MTV crib thing, and I'll show you what I got in my crib. Let's guns. Yeah. Now this is a 10x server, as I'm sure you've noticed by some of the stacks. But that, even with that being said, this wipe has been insane. It's also a monthly wipe server. And I've just been able to acquire obscene amounts of loot. Largely in part because I have not been raided, not even an attempt. Uh, so yeah, piling up and stuff. I had to build this whole second level just for materials because I was running out of room. Farm, sulfur, oh, the frags. I have a whole nother base that's just full of frags. It's insane. Uh, but yeah, I haven't been raided, and here's why. That's right. I live in a rock. Yeah, a fucking rock. Can't see it, can't glitch into it, can't shoot it, can't raid it, can't really do anything to it. And no, I'm not cheating. This isn't hacking or anything like that. I'm too boomer to know how to do any sort of hacks or anything. This is just a little exploit I've discovered and have been using for a couple months now successfully. So let me go ahead and show you it. Let me first show you how to get into the base. You just run up to the rock, kill yourself, spawn inside. You can run on over and grab your stuff. You can loot from inside the rock out, but not vice versa. But yeah, you can come grab your stuff, hop back in your base, deposit it, and then head out for the day. Now to do this, you're gonna need a car. This one looks like it'll do just fine. Once you get your car, fix it up, and build yourself a little platform. So you can throw down a car lift, a little generator, hook it up, bring your car on over so you can get to working on it. Because here's the thing, it can be a 2, 3, or 4 chassis vehicle, doesn't really matter. The important thing is the configuration of it. What you're going to need is a cab with a small engine up front. That's the head of the vehicle. And then fill in whatever slots in the back with larger engines. But this is very important. If you try to put the cab in the back, this will not work. The cab has to be at the very front of the vehicle. Now, once you get that all set up, go ahead, fill it up with parts, make sure it has some gas, and go out and look for your new home, your new rock. I was driving around, it started to rain, but I came across this absolute beaut of a rock. It has a nice flat face to it, nice flat ground all around it. Those are both things you're going to want to consider when choosing a rock. You're going to want something that you can drive into at full speed, and at the moment of impact, you need to jump out, and you will actually glitch inside of the rock. One way to do this more efficiently is to build yourself a little runway. I go ahead here and try to build a runway, but this is my first attempt, but it's a little too short. I'm not getting enough speed to actually glitch into the rock at all. So I give it a few attempts not even using the runway, but without that, especially with it raining, keeping control of the vehicle is very difficult over the bumpy terrain and stuff. So I wasn't really able to get a good impact on the rock like I wanted. So after a bunch of failed attempts and rollovers, I decided that this runway wasn't really gonna work. So I go ahead and destroy it and start over, building a new runway at a slightly different angle. Hopefully this will give me a longer runway so I can build up more speed, because you need to be going top speed in order to glitch the front of the car through the rock face, and that's also why the cab needs to be up front. So here I run into a little bit of an issue with my runway crossing the road, which obviously you can't build on, but I put a couple little ramps down on each side and keep going. Now, I mean, this is obviously taking a bit of time and effort and materials. On my other videos, a couple of people commented, oh, I tried for hours, couldn't get it. Did they patch this? It doesn't work. It does work. It's not something you should expect to be able to do first try. Because as far as I know, I'm the only person who does this, and I don't even get it the first try, as you can clearly see. This is my first attempt on the new runway. Doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence, but decided to give it a few more tries. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's the other nice thing about building an actual runway, is you can keep trying over and over and over. So attempt, no, wasn't going fast enough there. Attempt 3, I just start from the road, not even. But I'm clipped the side, and it's obvious I wouldn't be going fast enough anyway. So yeah, I mean, this, like I said, this isn't easy. It takes quite a few attempts. This is attempt 4 on this new runway, and I decided to give it a lot more beans, but just ease off on the actual ramps without grannying them too much. And when you finally get it, it just really is so satisfying. So once you're in the rock, take a second to celebrate, as I'm doing right now. And then first thing you want to do is go ahead and lay down a sleeping bag. Because if you accidentally step out of the rock, there's no getting back in it without doing all that over again. So get a sleeping bag down. That way, if you step out or anything, you can always spawn back in. And then you can go ahead and get to building your base. But unfortunately, because of the rain here, it makes it a little difficult to determine where the edges of the rock are. You can sort of go by the lines that are like sort of floating up in the air. But when it's sunny out, it's much easier to determine where the edges are, because anything inside the rock will be shaded, and then anything outside the rock will obviously have sunlight hitting it. So you can get a better idea of exactly how big you can make your footprint. So I decided to just set up a little platform box, throw my stuff in there, and I'll come back when it's a nicer day to get my actual base built inside the rock.
3 hours later.
So next day, sun's coming out. Hasn't quite made it over those rocks yet, but it will soon, so I can go ahead and get started. Again, keep a sleeping bag down at all times. But yeah, first thing you can do is go ahead and lay down your footprint. Now, go ahead and make it as big as possible, as big as you think will fit inside the rock. Because you want to obviously utilize as much space as possible. Sure, you could build a little, 2x1 in here, but if you're not getting raided, you're going to collect a good amount of loot, and you're going to want somewhere to store that. So get a nice big footprint down, and then go ahead and build up 2 stories all the way around, just leaving it twig. And then once you got that done, you can hop outside and see where it's sticking through. Obviously, you don't want any of your base sticking through, because the whole point is to remain hidden. And if half your base is hanging outside the rock, that's, well, obviously not very hidden. So once you delete all the stuff outside, you can spawn back in and make some adjustments. Here I decided a different footprint would probably work better. So I go ahead, demolish a bunch, and rebuild it a little bit smaller with triangles. And then once again, go around, build up 2 stories all the way around, so I can hop outside and see. I mean, this is a process. Probably gonna have to do it 2, 3, 4, 10 times, just depending on, how determined you are to use every square inch of the rock that you can. Now, while I was going around, I did notice this little guy. This little bit sticking through here. Now, it's not highlighting blue, and it's so small, I'm not going to worry about it, because I have a feeling once I upgrade the entire base to stone, that it's going to blend in with the rock pretty well, and no one's going to be any the wiser. So hop back in, upgrade it to stone. And yeah, you are a little bit limited with the rock base. Like, you can't always build your ideal base, because the footprint's sort of determined by the shape of the rock. But so you're gonna have to get a little creative with, you know, layout, how you store stuff. But I think that the fact that, you know, you're not getting rated makes, you know, having sort of a funky, scuffed base design worth it. So yeah, then you can go ahead and do whatever. You notice this hole I have in the side. I tried a few times to find a way to patch that without it being seen from the outside, but to no avail. But here's that little piece of wall that was sticking through before. That was stone. That was wood. Now that it's stone, yeah, you can see it, but like it's the same color. It just looks like a little part of the rock. So, not worried about that at all. But yeah, once you get the outside built, the shell built, you can go ahead, destroy your TC, and get to decorating. You know, laying out, dropping your boxes, putting stuff where you want it. Put windows up. I like having windows in here because, you know, nice view, and you don't got to worry about anyone coming through them. You don't, like I said, here I'm putting a storefront and a door on. Don't really need it, but I don't know. It's just habit, peace of mind, whatever. But yeah, once you get all your stuff in, you can decorate it to your content. I would recommend not putting things like rugs or fireplaces down, anything that give off comfort, because if someone's ducking for cover behind your rock or something, they might notice that they're getting comfort from like a rug on the exterior of your base or something. Oh, and as you can see, you can shoot out of the base, but don't. Not only is it kind of a dick move and kind of cheating, but it's also going to give away your position. Someone's going to notice arrows or bullets coming out of a rock and report you to an admin, and you're likely going to get banned. So keep it on the DL, yeah.